Some men just really blow my mind. If you're a 40-year-old man and you see a bunch of teenagers going to take Instagram pictures, what would you do? Well, this one gentleman decided to stalk us in the woods. He decided to hide behind trees and watch us. So I was at my sister's house yesterday, right? And we got the bright idea to take Instagram pictures. And to take these Instagram pictures, we decided to go into this wooded area. And as we're walking to this wooded area, we notice a guy in all black is following behind us. But she lives in a really small town, so we didn't think it could be anything that bad. So we get to the wooded area and we start taking pictures when we notice the guy that was behind us is now standing behind a tree trying to hide, staring at us. And for a portion of that time, he had his pee-pee in his hand. It got to the point where we were so uncomfortable, we just decided to leave. So last night, something a little scary happened. So last night was my first night back at home. I have not been home in like a week. And every time I come back home after not being home for a while, I always ignore all the creepy sound. Oh, scared the fuck out of me. Anyways, I ignore all of the creepy sounds I hear because that just triggers more stuff to happen. So I'm chilling in my room doing homework and watching frenemies. And at this time, my dad was asleep, and he usually falls asleep with the TV on, but for some reason he didn't last night. So I'm literally in my room chilling when in the corner of my ear, I can hear somebody whistling in my house. But who could be whistling in my house if I'm the only one awake? And I actually got the whistling on camera, so if you want to see it, it'll be on my Instagram story. So I sat in my room listening to this whistling for 15 minutes. It was going on for 15 minutes. At this point, I was fully convinced somebody had broken into my house, so I grab a little. But as soon as I leave my room, the whistling stops, and it only gets worse.
So something a little scary happened to my boyfriend 7 years ago. So believe it or not, my boyfriend lives across from a cemetery. And I don't mean down the road from a cemetery. His house is 20 feet away from the cemetery. And at the time of this story, my boyfriend was, I'd say, around 11 or 12. And he was outside hanging out with his friends, running around, doing what 10, 11-year-old, 12-year-old boys do. Fucking bitches getting money. Okay, anyways. So it starts to get really dark outside, so he had to start heading home. And as he's walking home, he's going past the cemetery. And in the cemetery, there's a statue of Jesus. And there's always been rumors about this statue that if you walk past it at a certain time at night, its eyes will glow red. So my boyfriend's walking past the statue when he hears breathing. But he was alone, so he got a little confused. Then he realized he was right next to the statue, looks at it, and the eyes on the statue are glowing red, and it's breathing. He ran home like that. Amen. When I tell you I have never, ever, ever cried harder. So basically around 3 weeks ago, I was doing drive time to get my license. And drive time is basically when you drive around with an instructor for an hour. And once you get enough hours with them, then you can get your license. So I was on my very last drive time. And for my last drive time, I had gotten an instructor I've never had before. And it was an old man. So I thought maybe he would be nice. I was wrong. We get into the drive time car, and I go to adjust the mirrors because I can't see behind me. He yells at me, and he goes, "Don't fucking touch my mirrors." Cool, great. Then he has me do parallel parking, and I messed up. I made a mistake. He proceeded to cuss me out. He called me every name in the book, baby. And for the rest of the drive, when I would just drive on busy roads, he would look at me and laugh at me. I went home and cried my fucking eyes out. I got a 90 though.
The last thing I expected to happen yesterday happened. So yesterday my boyfriend picked me up and we were bored, so we decided to just drive around my town. So we pull into this one neighborhood, and as we pull in, there's these two boys that are staring at us. They literally turned their head and they were just watching our car drive by. And we didn't really think anything of it. Cause boo bitch, what? So we go around the block and we end up going back the way we came from. And as we're driving back that way, we drive past the boys again. And they look at us again, except this time, me and one of the boys lock eye contact. And then I noticed who the hell it was. It was my fucking ex! It was my ex. And you're probably like, oh, that's not a big deal. If only y'all knew what this man did to me. And I'm just like, how the hell did you recognize me? Because I look a lot different from the last time I saw you and blocked you. Stalking ass. I think I'm ready to move out of my house. So this story happened 2 weeks ago. But holy shit. So basically, we all know I stay up pretty late every night. And this day, I was up till I think 4 a.m. But what I'm about to tell you happened at 3:30 in the morning. So I'm chilling in my bed. My sister and my dad had just left for the gym. I know 3:30 is really early, but that's when they go to the gym. So I was all home alone. And I'm getting ready to go to bed when I hear like a big thump in my bathroom. It kind of sounded like somebody threw a ball at my wall. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. Might have to check it out. So I go into my bathroom and my mirror is cracked. We ended up taking it out of the bathroom, but this is what it looks like. It has this big crack right here. But it was really weird because I don't know how it could have cracked. And it's really weird how I heard a thump and then my mirror was all of a sudden cracked. But nobody was home, so nobody could have like, but it only gets worse. So I genuinely feel like my life is just working against me. And yesterday was a perfect example of this. So my boyfriend has been in Vegas for the past 10 days. And yesterday, he just got back. So he said on the way back from the airport, him and his family would stop by my house so I could give him a hug. And I was like, yes, bet. So it's around 9:30 at night when I see him pulling into my neighborhood. And I'm over here praying to God that my dad will not wake up. Because, he would just be a little angry that my boyfriend and his family pulled up at 9:30 at night. So as my boyfriend and his family pull up, my dad gets called in for fucking work. So he ends up walking me outside to see my boyfriend. Could not even give this man a kiss after 10 days. The hug was so awkward because my dad was standing behind me like this. Like, what are the odds he gets called in for work as soon as they pull up? But the cherry on top is as I was heading inside, I meant to be like, all right, bye guys. I did this. I think I just had a wholesome paranormal experience. So last night I had gotten back home from hanging out with my friends. And at this point, I think it was around 10 o'clock at night, and I go straight to my room and I just go on TikTok. And at this point, I was home alone. My sister was out hanging out with her boyfriend, and my dad was out hanging out with his friends. So I'm just home alone, sitting in my room watching TikToks. And as most of you guys know, I don't really have any pets. I have a cat, but it never leaves my sister's room. That cat is sleeping 24/7. And my dog died. My dog is 6 feet under. Anyways, I'm just in my room when I hear a dog. In my house. When a dog shakes its head and its collar rattles and its ears flap? I heard that right from my room where I'm sitting. And it makes me want to cry because this is where my dog used to sleep before he... So I think that was his spirit telling me hi. So that's a little wholesome, spooky story. But it only gets worse. My life is literally so embarrassing. Thinking about it makes me just... So yesterday I decided to FaceTime my best friend. And you know how when you're waiting for the phone to pick up, you do something really weird? So as I'm waiting for her to pick up, I'm in the camera as a joke. So I'm waiting for her to answer this call, waiting for her to pick up this FaceTime. And her mom picked up. Her mom answered the phone and saw me doing that. Her fucking mom! I think about it and cringe and just want to throw up. But life hack, don't do that. Just be normal when your FaceTime is ringing. I can't tell if this is paranormal or somebody's trying to break into my house every night. Because at this point, it's a mix of both. So basically, I never sleep with my window open, especially in Indiana because it's 10 degrees outside at night. So I don't open my window unless it's summer. So I went to bed last night, just like any other night. And I wake up this morning with my fucking window wide open. And I'm gonna show you how hard it is to open my window. It can't open on itself. So obviously it's closed now. First off, it's behind my bed. And you have to turn this. You have to turn it. And it's I can't even reach it. It's hard to turn. And even before you wanna turn it, you have to unlock the window. So at this point, it's just a race between who can get me first, the demons or the people trying to break into my house. Let's see who gets in first. But it only gets worse. So last night, I think I experienced the scariest thing ever. So yesterday, I went downtown and I went to this really old library. And in this old library, they were selling these toy sound machines. This is what it sounds like. Creepy as hell, right? But this doesn't play on its own. You literally need to get your hand and move it around
to make the noise. It's not mechanical. Like, you literally have to use your hands to make it work. So last night, around 1 a.m., guess what I fucking heard laying in bed? The fucking little toy! But there's no way it can play on its own unless somebody's hand is moving it around. Nobody was in my room. Nobody was in my room. I was alone. I'm gonna reenact